What a throw. What a beast.
I don't know. I finished another painting, Chris. Did the
Nice.
cows.
All right.
I can't wait to see some of your paintings. Your stuff is really good.
Thanks, Bill.
People really like it too, which is good. I can't wait to start seeing your glass blowing. It's amazing. I'm so stoked.
That's going to be cool.
I'm gonna try to get later.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got it figured out, actually.
Oh, good, good,
It
good.
might be.
Hey,
There you
how are
are.
you? Ray.
Ray,
How you been?
Hi.
Good to see you.
You're looking good. Oh, there's Chris and Mike. And
Mike, yeah.
Bella.
Great to see you. Glad you
Hi,
came.
Mike.
What's up, buddy? Chris.
Hey, Chris, how you been?
Good, man.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for coming, man.
No, you're welcome.
Your advice helped me tremendously.
Did
Thank
it?
You. Thank you, Ray.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're a lifesaver.
I'm glad I could do
On
that.
behalf of me and all the utopians.
Did you tell everybody?
Yeah, he told me to relax.
Nice. Yeah, it worked.
Take a deep breath and just paint.
Well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I found my zen.
Well, living
still
alone,
here.
living alone for as long as you have, and then all of a sudden you're with a lot of people,
Yes.
it's different.
Don't know
And
how
they
to
didn't know
behave.
that. Nobody knew that.
Right.
And so
I
do
think they
that,
understand
and it
now.
worked, didn't it?
You did.
And boy, can I see the difference.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the
good.
difference.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good
Good to see you.
How are you?
Wonderful. You're so cute.
Thank you.
There she is.
Hello again.
Hello. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
well, that's
Thank
okay.
you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you for letting me push it off one day.
Oh, I understand. You got
We have
things.
so much. Sometimes we have so much stuff going on here, and sometimes we have nothing. You
Yeah,
know, it's like,
yeah.
There's no happy medium.
I understand. It is hot out here.
I know.
Yes, it is.
Man, where are you thinking of going?
We can go right up to the barn if you want to sit at the
good.
table.
Yeah, I got to get out of the sun.
Yeah,
Get you some water. Would you like
Yeah.
rum in your water?
Yeah, could you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you, thank
I'll
you.
be right back. I'll go over where y'all are going to be meeting.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
This is such a nice
I
place.
know, I
Isn't it
know.
beautiful?
the hell?
My
What
business
was
mind has
that?
been like
I thought you were
heavy at
gonna
work
run.
today because we launched a website.
Yeah.
We've already had like 2
I saw you
calls
winding
listeners
up.
to
I
the
was like,
website.
what?
Like it's just going crazy.
The chunky.
Hello.
Again.
Good to
Glad
see
you're
you.
back.
Oh, you're welcome. Wonderful.
Good, good.
Gonna have a little chat here about what could happen.
Yeah. Anything could happen.
Oh, yeah.
So many things.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
Truly endless.
Hi, guys. How you been, Josh? Good to see you.
Thanks for coming back.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome.
See, we got our beams up, our posts
I've
up.
been watching you do it.
We doing okay?
You're doing good. I really
I know
have
you
been
know what
watching.
you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But do we look? We're doing okay?
I've done that very kind of work.
We got it braced off good.
Yeah.
Nice and safe.
I watched you from the beginning when you first put the blocks down.
Yeah.
And as you did it, and you leveled it and then bolted it. I watched the whole process.
All right.
So, hey, man, how you been? Good to see you again. You're here first time. Hi, Katie.
Came in yesterday.
Hey, man, good to see you. Yeah.
She's ready.
Well, we're going to have a little chat, I guess.
Come on in.
Have some
No
fun.
way. Yes, it's about time.
Yeah.
We need some fun.
There's a
Well,
lot
we're
of-
not the fun.
Oh, yes, you can be. Oh, but you can be.
But I don't want to be in the petting zoo anymore. I want to like go to the petting zoo. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I know exactly what you mean.
I'm tired of being the carny. I want to go to the carny.
I know. Boy, do I understand that. It's still, I mean, now that I'm here without all the people, and I can see the place.
It's huge.
That saw sound makes it seem smaller.
Yeah, but this is a beautiful venue.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's just a beautiful venue.
You know what I want to do?
What?
I want to put those are footings down there, you know, in the dock coming
Yeah,
up, those
yeah.
tall posts.
Yeah.
I want to level off the shortest one and
Yeah.
put a balcony up there with railings and stairs coming down and put bands up there.
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Now, are you aware of how brilliant you are? Have you any idea? That is an excellent idea.
I mean,
That
serious.
is, no, that is, I'm dead serious.
Is the foundation good enough for a
I am
second
dead
level?
serious.
Oh, yeah.
That is an excellent idea, Josh. Man,
I would
Hey,
probably
Taylor.
live up there.
that is an
Taylor.
excellent idea.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Smart. That's a smart idea.
I mean, it'd be beautiful, right? We can put
Hi,
a band up
Hacks.
there.
We could do charity events like fundraisers.
Good to see you.
Oh yeah, we're on it. We're already going down that road, sister.
At my mother's house, we planned a lot of charity events.
Aaron, I didn't get a chance to meet you when I was here on Sunday.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you as well.
You're looking good, I'll tell you that. I'm monitoring a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, where can we sit? Where do you want me to sit? Do I get the king's chair?
I'll let you guys sit closer because I'm more of a listener because
Oh, Bella.
he was on the ground.
Anybody
Most
can
definitely
listen.
I'm good. I'm okay.
I've
I
only,
love planning, but my input's not.
I'm a little
Oh, yeah.
dehydrated today.
unfortunately, I got something I got to do after this. I've only got about
Put some in my
45
pants,
minutes.
Bella, and spice that up.
So, but I have enough material. We can talk easily for 3 hours. I'm not kidding. So, but what I'll do is what I've done is I've prepared. So, I'm going to give you these documents, and I've made 4 copies because you had planned 4 people. Who are the 4 initial people? Mike, I'm assuming, right?
Initial for
And Chris.
Jennifer and myself. I think.
So, what I'm going to do is give you this, and then when I go, you can refer to a lot of this stuff. We can talk about some of it now, but then when I go, you guys can look at it, you can talk about it, and then you can call me, you can email me, we can set up another time for me to come out, and maybe I have a little more time, okay?
Great.
So this is all categorized, and when you said to me the other day, you had said, I'd love to have a little advice as to how to produce events, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So not everybody knew at that time what I have done, right? So maybe just a quickie on that. So everybody knows what I have, and then we'll quickly get into some of your stuff on an overview basis. And then thank you, and then, questions when you have questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I got 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th is for Mike. I have an executive decision I've made.
What's that?
I like your persona.
Oh, thank you.
I like the way you are decisive and clear. That's my executive decision.
Thank you.
And is Josh still here?
I'm here.
This is the waterless.
Oh, thank you.
That's the one that's only $75 that would at least get the water warm for now.
Really?
In line. All you do is take the pipe off, put this in place of where it's going in the wall, and it'll at least have warm water for showers tonight.
And that plugs in, I'm
Yeah,
guessing?
just plugs in. And
It's
this,
220.
That one's a 220. Oh, you can get it 2 ways. You can get it 220, and that's the amperage, or you can get a 110, and that's the
24
amperage.
amp.
So one of the questions. Yeah, that's what. That, and they're actually made for that part of the world.
Yeah.
But for here, it would at least get the water warm. Right away.
awesome.
You could order it tomorrow. This is the name of the company.
It plugs in to the wall.
Yeah, it just plugs into the wall.
It is recommended for the Caribbean region.
Yeah,
It says it right there. I'm not joking, it says that.
yeah, it says it there.
It's
It's the
recommended.
Caribbean. It's the Caribbean and also southern states in the United States.
Wow.
So here we are in California. So, but there's the name of the company. Do your own research. Call them. This company has all kinds of different versions. They make them for apartments. They make them for houses.
Okay,
Waterless, electric, gas.
thank you.
So either 75 here, or when you go for the big deal, it's about $400.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate
you're welcome.
It.
All right, so now I handed all 4 of them out. I need one to probably just reference.
Use mine.
Is it okay? All right, so what I did is the first thing, and I will talk because unfortunately I got this other thing that just came up before. While I was driving out, somebody called me. I got to, so I've only got a little bit of time. The first thing we do, the question was, how do you put events together? The first thing, number 1, is the site. So what I always do is get an aerial photograph of the site. That's the first sheet that you have there. What I did is I went to Google Earth, and I got the aerial of this site. I traced it from a photograph, which is here. I only got one of these, but this is the actual photograph from Google Earth of where we are. Okay, so what I did is I traced it. So that is to scale. So what I normally do, and I have that on the last sheet for you. What I normally do when I'm doing an event is I take this and I blow it up so it's a big thing on the wall. So I have a big aerial photograph, then I trace that like mechanical drawing and all the stuff, where the restrooms are, games, food, security, water, first aid, everything that's on that site, including the fences, are put. So number one is this, because from this, you now know what's the size of this event. How many people can I get in here? How many vendors can I get in here? How much food can I get in here? How many tables and chairs can I get in? How many people can I get in? I've looked at this site when I was here the other day. I'm talking fast only because I got 45 minutes. I'm sorry. And that's actually the way I am. But
It's slow to us New Yorkers. So.
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, I know Keith Kevin. He's the #1 production guy in New York for all the rock and roll shows. He produces everything that happens on in Central Park, but also Madison Square Gardens and Radio City. And you should listen to him talk. Hey, let's get this done. So you have the photograph first, then you do the drawing. Then you also look at the parking situation and how are people going to get into the site? How are they going to get out of the site? You have a traffic control issue and all that. We're not going to have that here. I'm only mentioning that to you because you had said, boy, I'd like to know a lot about how to make events happen. But in here, when I was here on Sunday, I walked around a lot. So I walked into the back here, I walked down by the pond, and then I walked over here. And as I look at this place, it is so beautiful. You guys, the beauty of this place with a ton of people here. You don't want a pack of 1,000 people. On the top of this sheet, you'll see I did the math on it. So I know there's 90,000 square feet here, and if we had people on blankets, 5x5 blankets, we could get 3,000 people. You are not going to do that.
Right.
Not here. But I wanted to do that because you had said, well, I'd like to know how events are done. So that's what you do.
Is this the equation that you usually use?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
5 square feet if they're laying on a blanket, 3-4 square feet if they're sitting or standing.
Okay.
So 5 square feet, and yeah, it's written there for you, is how many. So there's 90,000 potential square feet available. That would allow over 3,000 people. But this place is so beautiful. You don't want to do that.
No, it would take away from it.
Oh, God, would it take away from it. So what I thought would be kind of cool is something around maybe around 150, 200 would be kind of nice. It's manageable. It's manageable. And then maybe as you move forward, maybe a little more, another 10 or 20, see how we feel. But somewhere in there, I think would be really, really nice. Even on blankets, even sitting in beach chairs on those blankets. So that's the site part of it, really roughly.
Okay.
And then there's more to talk about. Now, the next sheet is live event marketing and production. I can spend time with you for 6 hours
Right.
just on this. What I know about how to produce and market live events is like an encyclopedia. I've done a lot of it. Oh, I forgot to mention. I worked for Beach Boys for 15 years, 1975 until 1990. I produced the events that happened in the Washington Mall on the 4th of July. Some of you may be young for that, but what we did is the Beach Boys played with 6 other or 8 other bands, and it's right across the street from the White House, 750,000 people out there.
Holy crap.
And I think I mentioned that
I
other
remember.
story.
I was impressed.
Is that the 3rd year that we did it, we had Philadelphia. So Mike Love, lead singer of the Beach Boys, he says, I know, got an idea, right? We'll have Philly and Washington on the same day. And we'll fly the first 4 bands and the first 4 bands like this after the show starts. So I coordinated the Washington one with Keith Kevin, hired him for that. We had another guy do the Philly date, but I had 1 million people in Philly, 750,000 in Washington. It's in the World Guinness Book of Records, 1,750,000 people. Isn't that cool? So just so you know, I've done.
Not do that here.
I don't think so. But I've done those. And then the festivals that I've done, 25,000 to 80,000. And those are games and rides, 5 entertainment stages, all kinds of food, all kinds of arts and crafts, all kinds of games, those kinds of events. So this is really small. But the reason I brought it up is because you had said, oh, I'd love to have a mentor to tell me how do you do the marketing for this kind of stuff. This marketing sheet has a specific layout, and if you want me to come back, I'll really spend some time with you on this.
Okay.
But basically, across the top, what it says is local marketing. Just read that. Those are the elements that are involved. We don't necessarily need to use that here or employ all of that, but we could, some of it. Because when you interact, and I've heard you guys talk about nonprofit integration, so cause-related marketing is very powerful. And you have an opportunity with what you've got here, Lions, Rotary, Kiwanis, Elks, VFW, one of the favorite ones that I connect with because I have a writing partner who's a 100% disabled vet, and that would be the Disabled Vets, Wounded Warriors. The Wounded Warriors. That would be a great one to be part of. And her daughter works directly with Elizabeth Dole, with the Dole Foundation, and they help vets as well. So that's a nice one. But there's also the Red Cross, there's United Way, which is good. But when you tie in with those organizations, and when we get to talk later about this, that's where you get all the trades. That's where suddenly the stage is free, the generators are free, everything you can think of. The ice truck comes in, you don't have to pay for any of the ice, for all the food. Once you tie in with enough, and the more, I think Mike was saying, Mike, did something about, well, maybe we should just do one nonprofit, you know, let's not go spread it out. In an event that I did very close to here, I did it 3 years in a row, we had about 25,000 each time. We had 35 nonprofits. The more nonprofits you have, the more people will do things for you. Now, just because you need something traded for an event doesn't mean when you do a trade like that you also can't get a new bathroom, a new kitchen, a commercial stove, a commercial refrigerator out of those trades. See? So just a thought that you have. I know you got two things going. You've got what's going to happen on the internet. We don't know that. Like you said, it's all of a sudden, boom, taken off. And if that takes off, there's a strong possibility, well, that's wonderful, and you almost don't need events in that sense for the revenue. But it still helps for doing the events because it helps you guys.
Well, we want them.
Exactly,
We want them
exactly.
regardless.
And you want them for being able to connect with people and have fun. Once you learn how to do these events, like when I work on events, it all becomes fun. Everybody's laughing, everybody's having a good time. No need not to not have a good time. I'll tell you the one story. Remember the story I told you? When I worked with Beach Boys, the crews, sound, lights, trucks, buses, they're all vendors. They're rented. They used to draw straws to get out on the tour with me because I made it so fun. It was the only tour during the time that I was doing that the vendors were drawing straws to get out on the tour. So I think in terms of how can I make this fun for you? How can I make this fun for the people coming in? How can I make it look good, feel good, and be a great experience so when everybody's finished, whether it's the audience or you guys, everybody's saying, wow, was that great? That was fun. That's what we want to end up with. So just be aware that I do that. So the nonprofits help a lot with that. In here on the marketing, there's three things, and I'll just say it real quick to you. There is promotion number one. Those are the contests, the sweepstakes, the giveaways. There's a list here, and I took the time because I've been monitoring this very closely. Hello, how have you been, Nikki? So cute. So sweetheart. So I lost my attention.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I want to do yoga with you, you know.
Shoot, Nikki, shoot.
So, but hi, Rob. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
The contest and the promotion. What I did here is I made a list because I've been monitoring the show a lot and I've been listening. So I'm aware of the different things that you guys are making and doing, yoga, art, right? And art and glass. But you also have a lot of other things that you may not be aware of that you can give away as promotions. Free this, free that, free that. Those promotions run on radio, television, newspaper, cable television, and your website. You can get a chance to do art with Bella. You can get a chance to do free. We will allow 25 people to come in for free with this larger group that's suddenly going to be, who knows, 50, 70 people just doing yoga because you're giving that stuff away. So again, I don't have the time to really get into this time, but there's a whole lot of conversation involved in how all these promotions work. They are powerful. Those promotions are what gets you the free television time. It's what gives you the free newspaper space. It's what gives you the free radio time. Because if you give those away and radio can say, we're giving away 10 tickets for come out to the Utopia experience, they'll pump that and they will also now run your commercials.
Right.
We're doing a thing this weekend, come on out. But it's true, we don't have 25,000 people.
Right.
But a little bit of that might be interesting. Why? Because you're also selling on the internet. Mm-hmm. You're trying to market on the internet, all kinds of products. So if you do these promotions, more and more people find out about it, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I want that art, I want that, I want the yoga.
But now they want to buy the product.
Yes, they want to buy the products.
Right.
And it's the same thing even with Josh's boxes. Of course, I have a thing with Josh's boxes, but I don't have time. 5 sizes and different types. 5 boxes, tell them, is it here? 5 boxes, different sizes. One is crude, so it has holes like that, and the other one is clean. Much more money. Anyway, so that's that.
Okay.
So promotion is number 1, and then after promotion comes public relations. That's the second thing you work on. I have a whole list here in public relations. It talks about basically everything that happens here is an opportunity for a story. Everything. No matter what it is. Any conversation that took place, any incident took place, it's all listed there. So just read it later. You come up with excuses for stories. I even listed the editors. So newspaper has editors, radio has editors, and television news has editors. So you think, and again, it's all basically here, that every time anything happens, you figure out how can I angle
Who's got
that
ideas
for
about your
health?
boxes?
How can I angle that for home improvement? Well, you can always build a really nice table. We did something interesting. Now we're going to cover it. You should see the amount of people. So if you have a big family, right, home improvement. This is a way to start. Instead of moving into a house and getting, $10,000 worth of furniture, build something real simple initially. Build something real simple initially. And then after you build something simple, then go and get your better and furniture. There's a story there. Where did it come from? Here, written by Josh. Right?
It's valuable content.
It's variable. That's it. That's it. So you know a lot of this stuff. It's about creating valuable content for the basic medias of radio, television, newspaper, and of course social media. So put all that together. So that's PR. Then you have the marketing, which is the buys. Those are the buys. So for here, I don't think we're going to need the buys in any way. But just for your knowledge, when you do promotions and you do PR, the way I've just described it, your buys are supposed to be 4 to 1. Means for every dollar I spend, I want to get $4 in value of promotion and publicity. So I want press releases, and I want you running X amount of promotions on my giveaways for every dollar I spend in space and time. Okay? So that's
Perfect. Thank you.
Did you like that?
Encyclopedia. Just so you know, also, Kristen's been amazing at keeping our social media up to date and blowing up. And
I've been watching
everything that happens.
Has she? Yeah. I mean, is it open? Is it up now? Is it on?
Yeah.
Because when I get back, and I heard you.
I told you.
Yeah. So I wrote it down. So when I get home, I'll go look at it and see your work.
Yeah.
So public relations, you can see that those are the editors. Arts, business, entertainment, environment. The business is the business that's going on here, right? How did Utopia structure its business, right? How did you figure that out, that your group of people got together and eventually settled down without that story, settled down and then, got together and created business? Because that happens everywhere. You starting a new business, it can get really wild and crazy when those first group of people get together saying, hey, we got an idea for a new startup. But eventually it settles down. How did we do it here? That's a story. It's a big story. So all these editors, and that's what I'd spend time with you later, is I'd go over each one of these and give you ideas of how that works.
Now, just a quick question for you. There's a lot of opportunities here on this list, and I'm loving it. For the sake of organization, do you recommend for each event or thing we're trying to promote, we pick maybe a couple different bullet points and not try to do everything?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No, I actually prefer everything and more. Day one. Indeed, this is structured in a way that and you'll see it in a minute, where we're going to start off real slow, real simple, just the way you started, and we'll just add one thing at a time. Each event, we add another thing. And by the way, you guys are doing it great. The way you already did it on your own with the different things, you know, with what you're doing, to already be doing that, you've already got an arts and crafts show. And then you just start adding the other stuff. But I have things on here that will say how you could increase what it is. Instead of just standing there, you actually sit there and make things while they're coming, and you offer classes while you're doing it. So you can sit with me and you can do this art with me, and you can win an opportunity to do it with you at the event. Cool. We don't do it for free. If you want to pay, you can pay for that class, but you can also win an opportunity to learn how to do the glass blowing one-on-one with you during the event. See, so that's the promotion for the website. For now, we don't need all that other marketing. I went through the marketing just for you, because of other stuff.
Thank you.
So we got that. Let's see if I can do the rest here. Types of stories that could be written, we talked about that. Media buys, we talked about that. Social media, we really already know about that. We can read it and we can talk about it later. There's so much to it. Create as much news, we just talked about that. And that's where all that news is. I'm giving you suggestions here on creating the news. So I've written out, so if you read that, you'll say, oh, that's good. And the idea is for you guys to say, wait a minute, I know, there's 3 other things, there's 10 other things we could do now that I've read this. So that's what it's for. And it's just positive for everybody. It's all the way around, everybody that's involved in this. If you guys come up with great stories that can be put out there, just in all the different media, just about what's going on here. The benefit is for while you're here, and the benefit is when you're not afterwards. Whatever the timing is for your departure, you're going to benefit from that, and everyone involved benefits by the amount of positive stories from as many different angles that you can put out in as many different media streams. So that's why I made that list. There's a lot of meat in that. It's not just a casual little note. Then I did the nonprofit tie-ins, and it says, right, lower the cost, do the PSA, they'll run things for you for free. Oh, and then the other one is this. Let's say we do sneak it up, 250 people, you've only got 14. We want to make sure everybody's safe, so we need security issues. We need medical team people. If we do anything with the pond, we probably should have, I think, maybe a lifeguard or somebody in case something happens there. So there's a thing about volunteers. When I did the event here close by, we had 500 volunteers. When I do events, I sit at a table basically like this, except I sit further out and I have a long table. I have my easels, my computer, and my phone. And then all day long, I schedule meetings. And I talk with every single category. You'll see it in the budget when we get there. I talk to every single category. How are you doing? What do you need? What's going to cost? What's it going to be delivered? Who's going to do it? And I go through everybody. In this situation here, if we do sneak it up a little bit, but even with the 200, we need more people to help us do this and to do it nice, so you guys aren't rushing. Oh my God, I've got so much to do, and so you guys can more relax. If we can get some volunteers out to help in some of those areas, it'll just be a much more fun experience for everybody. That's the other reason for that that volunteer connection, is because we get volunteers when we do that. The United Way has Volunteers of America. I worked with the United Way close to here. That's where the 500 volunteers come from. But also, the VA, the Veterans Administration, there's a division there that also has volunteers. You could wind up with a bunch of veterans out here volunteering. You got three. So fun for them too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, they have fun too. Yeah. And you have 3 vets here. So So anyway, that's that one. Read about that later. Then for you and for everybody, the next 2 are really important. How do you run the event? How do you keep it organized? How do you make things happen? It's the do list, right? So that's the heading, the do list. update that do list during the day. When I work on an event, I always carry in my back pocket, in a metal clip, my do list. I always have a pen with me at all times, everywhere. And so when anybody comes up to me and says, you know, we need this, we need that, it's 5, it's 10, it's going to be later, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yes, right away. Okay, I add it. Then when I get back to the computer, I clean it up. Now, of course, in these days, you know, you got pads and you got cell phones you can do a lot of that with. But I clean it up afterwards. But I'm always, always updating. And anybody says anything to me, I immediately write it down. But that's for everybody. Everybody should have their do list for what they're supposed to do. But you said you want to coordinate. What I do is I initially, as I'm building the event, I create their do list. So as I'm meeting with the different people, the security, the cleanup, the parking lot guys, the vendors, you know, whoever, the tables and chair guys, as I'm meeting with them, I build just like I have a list here. I know they're going to need this, they got to do this, and they got to do that, they got to do this many times, they got to have that many people, they got to be out by this time, plus they need that truck and they need the fuel for the truck. I write all that down when I'm meeting them. I do a do list for them, and anything comes up in the meeting, I add it, I clean it up, and then I hand it to them. And I say, okay, that's what we talked about. Sound good to you? Everything okay? Any problems at all? Oh, there is a problem. Wait a minute, what is that? Well, either we eliminate it or we have somebody else do it. But it is the do list that runs the event. Okay? So that's why that's important. Create do lists for everyone. That's what I put there. I got that. On the command center walls. Oh, yes. So we talked about that earlier. Somewhere you want a command center. That wall looks real good. But on the wall, because it's here next to the table, on the wall should be the site plan, but also the calendar. Because one of the things that you were saying to everybody is, let's talk about a list of events where we have maybe a 6-month schedule. What are we going to do out? So not only does a site aerial photograph, you don't need that plan, but the other thing that goes on there is the calendar. That calendar goes across, in this case for now, only 11 months left. So 11 months, but down it goes 31 days. So when everybody can see that, you can see, all right, we got that event coming up, we got that event coming up, that event. And when you see the list that way, what will happen is somebody will say, geez, you know, we could do another event. That's the power of that wall. By seeing the site, by seeing the calendar, you all will say, oh, I know, we could do this, we could do that. Something, though, does have to happen. And that is, even though you are in the go mode, there's such a thing as adding too much too late. So when people do that, you have to say, and everybody has to respect it, I got a great idea. Let's do that for the next event. Because we don't have enough time for that. You're going to drive yourself nuts and everybody else. It is a brilliant idea. Josh had a great idea on top of those poles. Put a platform for a band, for a playing band.
I love that idea.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So it could be that that won't be available for the first event. No problem, Josh. We'll get it on the next event. You know, so that's important. All right, then. So calendar, make small copies. The other thing I do, which you should do here, is as you create the site map, and I would love to do that with you if you want, come back and all that stuff.
I definitely want you back, Ray.
You do?
Yes, yeah.
You're in your utopian.
So as you do the site map, you make small versions. So everybody has their do list, everybody has their site map, and later you'll see everybody also has their budget. I have a very detailed budget already written out for your events here. So that's that. Oh, good. So we're done with this one. You're done. So now let's get into possible events. This list that I created here has a logical sequence to it. It's not just randomly thrown out. The first category is the category that should probably be done first. But as you study this list, and you guys talk among yourselves, and if you want, by the way, guys, I can email this if you have an ability to print. And I could also, if you want, I can bring back. And if you want, everybody wants these. Matter of fact, if everybody wants this whole stack, I'll come back for everybody. Yeah. And so I just did the 4 because I knew you had said 4 people, and but I'll make more and bring them back if you want. So self-contained events with barbecue. Initially, just self-contained without the barbecue to get organized. Then we can add the barbecue. There's a company close by here that has a facility similar to this. This is only 3 acres. They have 100 acres. And on that 100 acres, they have 4 different patches of grass. They do all kinds of events that are listed here. And that's, they are a rental facility. But the big deal is they do barbecues for 2,000 to 3,000 people at a time. So they have a truck that comes in that does the food very fast, very quick. They set up a deal. They set up a deal where the way it works is they run the tables like this. And then the people go through in lines. That's how they get 1,000 people through in an hour, which is the same way, which we'll talk about later, that you need to do the tickets. Because the one thing about events, get them in the door as fast as you possibly can. Do not have them waiting. And so if you create a few lines, maybe have 3 people down there, and so you got more people coming in, and then just get them through as quick as you can. And then what I used to do when I did the festivals or the carnivals, I would actually walk down the line and I would say, have your money ready, please? And if you have $5 bills, you can go in right now. I had a roll of tickets. I give them a ticket, take the $5 bill, you're in. Everybody else, have your money out when you get to the window. The key is to get people in as fast as possible. They know that you're taking care of them, that you care about them, and when they get in, they'll be more likely to have fun and spend money. So what these guys do is they do those kind of barbecues. There are nonprofit groups like the VFW who also has the barbecue pits that they take to various nonprofit groups in the area, or nonprofit events, festivals. There's a possibility that within this close area we could find a couple of those guys, have them come out and do the barbecue. See, have them do the beverages, and then we just need to set up the long tables so it's easy for people to get the food, right? And we'll talk later about the money side of it. Right now it's $20, but if you have a music event, even a themed event like we're talking about here, it could be $60. 20 for the house, 20 for the food, 20 for the entertainment. $60 event.
Awesome.
Right?
So their food would be included, because I was thinking they'd pay $20 to get in, then they'd have to come in and buy their food, but you're talking about including everything.
And I was watching how you guys were doing that, and different events do that differently. In some cases, you do one ticket, and they get to ride all the rides with one ticket, and they play all the games with one ticket, and they have to buy the food. When you're doing festivals like this, you have the option of pay to get in, pay to buy the food, and then pay to do these different things, yoga and what have you. But if you charge maybe $5 more, 68, of course you want to keep it even, 25 is better, or 30. Then it's, you get to do these things all included. You're making more money for the house that way. So just think about that, okay? So we don't have time to go through this one at a time, but you'll see that there's a lot of event possibilities. The idea, for instance, classic cars, I'll just give you that one. There are classic car clubs. We have to be careful about those cars because there is dryness here. We don't want to have anything that could cause any fires. We don't want to do anything that could potentially create a problem in that regard. But classic cars, if it works, then that's an interesting event because they will bring those cars without you spending a dime, and it's come out to a classic car event at the Utopia Experience and have a barbecue and listen to a great country band. You've got an event. Along with come dressed in your best rockabilly dress.
Yeah, fun.
You put all that together, you've got an event. Okay? So and that's why, if we had more time, and if I come back, behind every one of these events is me saying things like that. There's a lot of ideas behind every single one of these events. Even the drum circle, which I know you guys talked about. I think it was Rob came up with that one. But the drum event has a lot of peripheral stuff around it that can be very exciting because that drum event is connected with a certain type of people. Those type of people like a certain kind of food, they like a certain kind of entertainment, and they like a certain kind of dress. Add all that to this event, not just a bunch of people coming in and with the drums. But the other thing with that drum circle thing, if you look at the event, you look at this side, under this tree, out here in the open, 3 different drum circles. You could even put one up here and one here. 1, 2, 3. And they compete. The best drum circle wins X. Right? So you got all kinds of opportunities with the drum circles. Okay, so we got possible events. And then we have competitions. The other one is competitions, and like what you were saying, I demand that everything be done exactly right there first time. You better get up to speed. The idea of the self-contained competitions is just to do one of these first.
Air guitar.
Yeah, just to do one of the events, just to experience it. Then the next time, add another one to it. And the next time, add another one to it. But what could be interesting is an air guitar contest with 100 people all competing at the same time.
That would be fun.
That's what makes that interesting. It's not just one guy standing on the platform at a time. It's we need all of you out here, and some rock and roll star comes in, celebrity, and he's the judge.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You see? That makes it interesting. There's a story, right? That's great for the website. It's great for even general media. Yeah, Utopia had this great air guitar contest. You should have seen it. There were 110 people out there all playing guitars at the same time, and big-time rock and roll star was judging. You know? So that's just on air guitar. Every one of these others, the archery contest is the same thing. There are archery contests that happen around this country that have a couple of hundred people attending. And you've got all the targets lined up. So all the way down that fence, you have setups for archeries.
25 people at one time.
Yeah, 25, 30 people all competing. But you have a famous archery guy who's the world champ or the country's champ or the East Coast, West Coast champ. He's the one running it. Right? Along with, you're in archery. So that's a time period. Come dressed in your best archery. Have a barbecue and listen to so-and-so. All of that, music-wise. Okay, so body painting, you can understand the body painting, belly dancing is, that's why that's there. And then clowns, the clown is clown contest. That's come dressed in your best clown outfit, doing your best clown entertainment.
I think that's what the show is.
We would have
I think that's what Utopia is.
You guys are doing good, though. You guys are doing good. It's, after a few shaky moments, things are starting. You guys are looking really good. I watched you all morning while I was finishing this. I did while I was finishing this, and I watched you last night until you went to bed. And I watched you a couple of last week. I watched you go to bed like this.
Now it's going to be like this after this meeting, right?
Okay, so there's a lot of things here. Zumba is the other one. Zumba competition. That's huge, as we all know. Those that are aware of Zumba. You could have
What's a Zumba competition?
Zumba is Zumba exercise.
It's
So
it's like a
Dance.
it's like a dance aerobic exercise.
dance aerobic.
franchise.
It's huge. It's huge. And they have competitions where 500 people show up at hotel ballrooms. Massive. So the competition would be run by some of the leading choreographers. We're not going to run it. We're not going to even ask them to come here. I potentially would make those calls. A lot of what we're talking about, I'd make the calls outside because it's late night sometimes, early morning, what have you. So I'll make the calls to communicate once. Oh, and I forgot to say, as we go through this, and I told you earlier, this is about you guys. It's not about me. It's not about what I want. It's about you guys looking at this list, finding something on the list that you like, or hopefully the list will spark something else. And you'll say, oh, I know, what about this? And it's not even on the list. Then I'm on board 1,000% to make that happen. Okay? So, all right, so a lot of those we know. The other thing, and we'll just touch this real quick, that place that I told you about that has 100 acres, they are effectively a landlord. When I saw this facility the first time on television, and I saw the beautiful place that it was, I thought of this other place. Civic arts centers, coliseums, arenas, 10, 20,000 seaters, convention centers, 300, 600,000 square feet. They are all landlords. They don't produce events on their own. There are promoters that come in and produce these events. There are promoters who rent the facilities.
I will have to interrupt and say I'm not entirely sure if we're allowed to.
Well, who knows?
But we need to follow up on
Well,
that.
yeah, we'll follow up. We'll follow up. But the point is that I just want to let you know that there's two ways to do it. That's what I wanted to say. You can keep it in-house, which is probably a great idea for you guys to do it because you'll have it more fun. But there is the other way of doing it, and that is function as a landlord. And now the list on that landlord is things like birthday parties, banquets, art shows. There are people who travel the country doing art shows, selling art. They could come in here with a ton of art, and then that would bring easily another couple hundred
My
people.
grandpa did that.
Yeah, so you know about that. So there's that. Birthday parties, the company picnics, corporate picnics. This would be a great place for a corporate picnic. Put that out on the website. You will have more people saying, we want to do a corporate picnic here. Then what happens is for the corporate picnic, again, I don't have time to get into all the details, but that corporate picnic alone is that you guys provide all the things we've already talked about, the art, the belly dancing, the yoga, for the corporate picnic. So you're not walking away from it, but you have somebody who's going to bring those people in without you basically doing anything. But with that website, maybe that thing completely goes away. I just wanted to bring it up that you can look at it two different ways, and yes, that who knows where that all goes. So next is camp events. The camp events, because the other thing, when you think about a facility like this, you're now down to, we did 2 days, then you did 1 day, now a weekend with nothing. There's another issue we could talk about, which is the whole issue of the financial side of this place. I certainly don't want to go too far into that. That's your area. But there's issues about, it's getting cold. Wouldn't you like to have 3 toilets, 3 sinks, 3 showers? Wouldn't you like to have a commercial sink, a commercial refrigerator, 2 to 3 refrigerators? This is my area, this is my shelf, that kind of stuff. That takes money, right? But if you do more events, you would have the money for that. So one, you're doing events because it's something to do. It keeps people busy. Now we're not, thinking about things and doing things that are not productive, because we're focused on something. But we're also focused on, we're going to make this place a better utopia in its physical layout, and even now you can buy clothes, maybe shoes.
You know, you gave me that look.
I have 2 nieces. I got 2 nieces, and I know your shoes. So, and I spoil her. I buy as many shoes as I can for her. She just moved. I helped her move. That's the reason I didn't come last weekend. The weekend before, I just moved her to San Diego. And she calls me. She says, I have a real problem. I have a big closet, and it's kind of half empty. Could you help me out? I told her, I said, absolutely. So, talent show. There's all kinds of stuff on this list we don't have time to do today. But the singing contest, I'm a little shaky on that one for now because it's focused on only one person. But there is speaker events. There are, that was on the self-contained list in the front, that you have speaker events, you have author events where the authors come in and talk to people, you have storytelling events. If you had a storytelling event, when you look at the site map, because of the way storytelling work, you could easily have one going on here, one going on here, and one going on here at the same time. 3 different story events, and if you had 9 storytellers, they're cycling through. They're just cycling. So just story. That's a self-contained event. People are just coming. But if that was nursery rhymes, I'm producing while I'm talking to you. I'm thinking of it right on the spot. If that were nursery rhymes and fables, come dressed in your favorite, right? And we're going to eat something of that time period. So there's just that. So again, even with this list of camp events, there's a lot that can happen. The camp events, however, can be a 2-day experience. We have to take a look at, can people camp overnight with those little pop-up tents? It's meant to be that kind of a thing. And you could turn one whole side in here to the campsite. Don't know. We'll have to take a look at it. Is that something that would work? But that's what camp is meant to be. But you can have a 1-day camp and call it a camp. And all of these things are in here. So there's a lot to that. Unfortunately, I don't have time to get into it. But there's a lot there, man. There is a lot to those events. So many moving parts. So many. Yeah, so many great things. Wasn't it a little overwhelming?
It's good to see.
Festivals is another one. So you have camp events, you have the self-contained events where people come dressed, and they bring whatever it is they need to bring. Bring your own archery stuff, bring your own yoga thing, or anything else. But in this case here, now these are the festivals. So a barbecue is a barbecue cook-off, a chili cook-off, right?
I love those.
There's that kind of stuff. There is a course challenge capability here. You know what I mean? Even especially if you only do it with like 120 people, you could do those challenges. You ever heard of Tough Mudder? Yeah? So it's those obstacle courses. You could create an obstacle course here with only about 150 people. Everybody's paying about $300 for the day. See?
But we'd have to get some tractors or trucks in here to.
Oh, we'll figure that
dig out.
out. I'm one of these guys who will figure out how to make it work. So just know
Man
that.
after my own
Yeah,
heart.
I'll
That's
figure.
awesome.
I'll figure it out. And there's issues of not making it. I think I know where you're going. Tough Mudder normally digs holes and does big things. We're not talking about that kind of.
Okay.
We're not talking about doing it that. It's more simple things that just sit on the ground and come up off the ground, that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on now to the budget. And I just wanted to whip down the budget with you real quick, because you had asked the question, gee, how do these things work? I have two different budgets here for you. Which one did I put first? That's the good one. These two budget sheets are identical as far as the left column, but they serve two different purposes. The second one is watching you monthly with all your cash flow. So it's going across month 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I stopped at 11. Okay? So 11 months remain. But going down, what I did for the heck of it is I included in this budget, I included what's going on the website. I included what's going on here, the barn, the gardening, the food. So you've been using terminology, which is okay. But if you think of it this way, you have product online, and you see what those products are. Then you have auction capabilities, and good that the auction thing's going to happen. Look at what those auction opportunities are. That there could make a fortune. A fortune. You do reserve, right?
Yep.
Whatever the reserve is, and then above that. But look at all the different things that can be auctioned off. I mean, this is thousands of dollars potentially. So then you could, in the end, if you do this right, it is a utopia. Because you could create a beautiful facility here. You could make sure that the grass is green. Are we watering the grass, by the way?
They got a system.
Yeah, because is it being watered during the day?
It's watered at night.
It gets watered.
It doesn't look like the sod's really going
I think,
into the
you know,
ground. I think it's a ground issue.
I talked to a landscaper one time, and the landscaper guy said, even with sod, when you first put in sod, you do need to give it an hour during the day as well and at night. So if you only do at night, well, you got to deal with it. So just be aware of that there is a way to make that greener. But all I'm saying is with the money, we would be able to handle that, because we could get the proper irrigation system in here that you control that works during the day. Okay? Next, live event income. Those are the income streams. You can study that when I leave, but I don't think, as I've been listening to you guys, that you're aware of all the potential income streams. You had the food truck out here. I don't know how you did the money on that, but food can be done two different ways. You can say to the guy, okay, you'll collect the money and just give us a cut. But you can also have a cashier who's handing out tickets. And those tickets that you're handing out and you're collecting the money from, that's what they use to buy the food with, if you use trucks or other nonprofit vendors. So now you're in control of how much was actually purchased. You now know the actual income on the food, and you do the proper split between you and them. Unfortunately, people make mistakes if they are running their own cash in those trucks. You know, So, live event income, we talked about that. There's a lot there. I can come back later and we can talk about a lot of the details because each one of those categories have a lot there's a lot that can be talked about. General administration, that's what I was getting at. The terminology you've been using about there's money coming in. I forgot what it was. You got the taxes, then you got the you have the cost, and then you have something about the savings account, and this is something else. The term G&A, are you familiar with it? General administrative? Because you're a facility, you're almost like a co-op community. And as run as a co-op community, there's general administrative costs. That's the standard in all business. So G&A, the general administrative, is water, power, sewer, and in your case, food, bathroom stuff, the bed. Huh?
We can write these all up on taxes.
It could be, because it's part of doing business. That's exactly right. So that's the G&A. So look that G&A stuff over and understand that that's really normally how it's done. Then you have venue improvements. You know the term improvements, right? So improvements are about all those, you know, three sinks, 3 showers, a really nice kitchen with two commercial sinks. That's improvements. The bunks,
Cow milker.
the bunks. Did you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a cow milker in
love
there
it.
because I see you guys down there
Wasting
trying to do the thing, doing that. I worked on a farm for 3 years, 13, 14, 15 years old. 35 head of cows. I milked every morning, 5 o'clock, 5 afternoon. That's the time. But we used to strip it for mastitis. Are they having you do that?
Yes.
Okay. So you got the cup and all that stuff? So you do that, but there are now handheld for only $75 or whatever the price is that I found, where you just put it on there, you squeeze it about 3 times, and it just drains. You're not sitting there trying to,
Is that
you know.
comfortable for the cow?
Yeah, yeah. The big dairies use it. You can do some research on it, and you'll know.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
This is the right way to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Did they teach you? Yeah. Okay. So general administrator and then venue improvement. So you'll see the list there of all the things that could happen. Replace the sod is in there because you want the place green. See, when you said how do you run an event, what I do is when I'm watching, when I'm looking at the map, when I'm looking at the layout, and I'm looking at what the events can be, as I start thinking of things, what people normally don't do is they don't actually say, what's that going to cost? Who's physically going to do it? How is it going to get here? Is there any maintenance while it's here? Fuel for the ice truck while the ice is here? Who's going to do that? Who's going to take it out of here afterwards? If we have trash, we need dumpsters. We need garbage boxes everywhere with garbage bags inside. You'll see that's on the list. You put extra bags on the bottom, and somebody walks around all day long cleaning that out and walking around making sure there's nothing on the ground, right? But I think about those things as I'm thinking an event, and the minute I think of it, it goes right on the list. So as I've been watching you guys, plus with my experience of doing events, I just started building the list. So this was built specifically for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so venue improvements, you can see all that stuff. I got even sleeping bags in there and better pillows because I see some of the
We
pillows.
really figure.
I said, I can't believe they got those pillows, and some of those sleeping bags are a little on the thin side, you know. But to me, that's if you think in terms of co-op, I know there's this about individuals versus business. You guys have to work that out, how you actually want to do that. But to me, if it's a co-op scenario, which is effectively what you got, and everybody is equally contributing to the events, and later we could, if you want me back, to talk about how everybody contributes to what is sold on the internet, there's a way to do that, then it's logical for the organization, the co-op, to pay for the mattresses, the pillows, the sleeping bags, and a decent set of beds. And even if you're going to have to wall this across in the winter, put bunk beds in there and put plastic on those doors, inside and outside, so it's sealed, right? So if you have to do that, this becomes the arts craft center. This is all for arts and crafts. I know they're talking about down there for a little bit, but there's so much wood, things he can build out of wood, unbelievable. To me, that's the artist loft.
And actually, if we did seal it off for the winter, it'd stay nice and warm
We have, unfortunately, we have to build the bedroom over there.
Really?
Well, so wherever you got to do it, whatever.
Away from the heater?
So anyway, so that's venue. You see the list. We can talk about it later. Cost of product for sales. Oh, that gets into, and you guys were talking about it, well, what is that wood costing? I know the guy's, he's getting pallets for free, but as you go down the list, for everything involved, even the materials for glass, right, it needs to be paid for. If you do more events quicker, that are self-contained, where people come in with what they need, the clothes, the props, and what have you, then if we can get more events in, we could be doing $3,000 to $6,000 per event, 6 to 12,000 a week, and crank a few of those out because winter is coming. You know? So that would be the way to think about that. So anyway, the point is, you can see that I've got a whole bunch of stuff there that is covering the cost for jewelry. I even put Bella Art, you know, but also Aaron. Is Aaron there? I even have a thing for Aaron here. It all depends on what Aaron wants to do.
Cookbook, recipe book.
Yeah, you got cookbook, but you've also got cookies, brownies, and cupcakes. Aaron's Utopia Cupcakes. You know, so but the materials for that need to be brought in from the organization. So now we got marketing. We talked about that already. Live talent. So the live event talent expenses, specialized trainers. So if you're doing the yoga, you're doing the Zumba, and those kinds of events, we talk to organizations close by, places that have studios, and we ask them to come over, and they're the ones who would do some of that stuff. Working with you potentially, because we're looking for a celebrity belly dancer that you work right next to. So they talk, then you talk.
We already have the connection.
Yeah, so you've got some. So
Artist. That would be so
celebrity artist as well. Yeah, a celebrity of the different type of art. You bring somebody like that in, you know. So anyway, but the belly dancer thing, there's a way to organize that. We can talk about that just to make it a little more interesting. I know, and you dance well. I've seen it. So, oh no, you have got that. So as good as you are, it would be great to maybe just have somebody else in there as a celebrity to help bring people in.
No, that connection actually, that's there.
You have a couple of celebrities? Okay,
Yes.
good. Okay, so we can talk a little bit about maybe how to put it together, speaker system, that kind of stuff. And so now we did that live event activity. So now the activities, those different activities, so you have the people, but then you have the activity. The activity very often has an expense connected with it, even if it's a mat, even if it's a bow and arrow. There's a possibility, I'm just throwing that out off the top of my head, but if there are expenses connected with those activities, again, this thing flows as simple first, add. So anything that requires money for an activity, we do later. We don't do it first. We do it 3 months from now, that kind of stuff. So just be aware of that. So as you're reading that, this is not about, God, he thinks we're going to go out and spend money for, you know, this? No. We're going to do a whole bunch of events that don't cost anything first, easy to do. That revenue then allows us to do better events. And wouldn't it be amazing if as time goes by, people are saying, my God, you've got to go out to that Utopia place. It is so nice. The people are so nice, and it's run so nice. They provide this, they provide that. It's incredible. That will do amazing things for you as a group, as well as after the fact. You know. So, all right, live event production expenses. Now we get into some details because it's almost 2 pages. But notice that everything is here. And again, this is specifically designed for this event. So when the people are walking in, a welcome banner across the top. Not tomorrow, not the next event, but eventually some kind of a welcome to Utopia. We're glad you're here. No, not just Utopia. Welcome. We're glad you came. So a nice banner that ties in aesthetically with what the look is as you're looking at it, right? So then on the reverse side, thank you for coming. We enjoyed having you, right? So then you get into the decorative flags, some kind of decorations on the buildings, hanging somehow. There's all kinds of banners and flags, just to give it a little more of a lift and physical movement. That's the purpose of that. Because when you have physical movement, people get excited and they get hungry. We know that when we produce the festivals. We always put flags up everywhere. It changes the psyche. It changes the psyche. People get more happy, they get more energetic, and gee, I got to get something to drink, I got to get something to eat. So there's a reason for it. So it's making it feel good, making it look good, and helping people to, get food and drink. So anyway, so those are the banners, banners, and then Utopia security T-shirts. There's a whole thing later. I don't think I'm going to have the time to go through all of this. You want to know what time it is?
It's 5 o'clock on the dot.
5, so I got a few more minutes. But in the decorative Utopia security T-shirts is that I have a security thing. You'll see later. We got a staffing issue, security in this building, security at the farm, security at the water, security on the stage. So there's security everywhere. We need Utopia T-shirt security. So they have that. So it says Utopia security, thanks for coming on the T-shirt. So it's a friendly security. So then security, double row.
Color, black with white lettering, or?
I won't get into that.
Okay.
The color of it, I don't have time for that. But at the same time, we have artists here. And you guys should determine what that should look like. But fit it in with the feel and the ambiance of this place. Then we have the boxes. When Mike, when you were doing that, it was the first time, no big deal. You were putting the money in your pocket, and I knew that you afterwards you did say it kind of worked a little awkward, and I think I left the pocket and left the money in the pocket, all that kind of stuff. But the way we normally do that is, if you've ever seen a movie theater. In the movie theater, you have that box that's about this size. And it stands about like that, and it's got a slit in it.
Right, and then just...
Yeah, so you just slide it down there, And then if he makes the box big enough, which is almost the size of this as far as I'm concerned, you have a table for the writing. I don't know exactly why there's receipts are being done, but...
Tax. Okay,
because I've never seen the receipts for a live event, but it's fine. But it would give you a place to write the receipts, So, and put that,
receipts in with them.
put them in with it, right? And then with that line that I said, you have 3 ticket boxes that are standing there with a person in front of each one. Have your money out, make it exact change, thank you for coming, and just boom, get them in as quick as possible. Anyway, so that's that. So, and I won't go through all of because there's people waiting for me, so I got to go. The double tickets. On the tickets, you're using that, aren't you? But if you use tickets, you use that roll stuff, very inexpensive, and you get the double ones. So when you rip it, if there's somebody else that needs to be tracked, be aware of how many bodies walked in, you have the double thing. So you rip that double, when it goes in, you have the 2. So when you break those up after the event, one person can get the pile, and the other entity, if it's necessary, gets the pile. And now you have a good accounting from 2 different entities how many people walk through the gate.
Right. What about the
ticket counters?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. What I used to use is turnstiles.
Right.
I used to use turnstiles. They're rentable. And so they just walk through the turnstile. The reason is you can lose track.
Right.
How you been, Bella? Yeah, it was really nice. I love that piece. Did 3 people come through or what? So that happens. So turnstile.
We have those raffle tickets now.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So let me see real quick here. Double Utopia. I've got that, or the cash box that could be for the food. The cash box for the arts and craft. That way, you're not handling the money. And I know you guys did talk about that possibility of that, but that does make sense. You should be, and the artist should be always talking to the people. And then, you like that? No problem. And then the other person does the money. And you make sure that the receipt is taken time to get the receipt. That stuff does need receipts for sure. But there's a box there that the money goes in and the receipt goes in that's locked. It's a smaller version of the other one, but it goes right in there so nobody can touch it. Right? So that's the receipt box. And then you have to have the bank for that to start. A lot of 1s and 5s. You never have 20s, anything above. You just have a ton of 1s and a ton of 5s so you can make change. The other thing, you were selling at a certain price, should be lower reserve. Should be a lower price. Because what you do, it all depends on you. It's your decision, and even when you start selling, the thing is that you start low, see how it goes, and then slowly, you know what I mean? because I don't think it all went. It would be better if more went. You know what I mean? There's something else about that area, but I know. Just simply, as you move forward, a table and a chair where you're working, and that table needs to be up while you're working, so you can be at eye level when people are talking to you.
Okay.
And your art is always behind you and to the side of you, but at an angle.
Okay.
So they can see everything, and then here's the artist, and I'm talking with you, right? Okay, good. And then, anyway, so that's the price issue. Because I was thinking of doing a silent auction. You could do that with a reserve and silent auction, and say, I'm not going to let this piece go, but there are people actually bidding on this. If you want to bid on it, let me know. Come back to me at a certain time, and the person who's given me the best bid, that's who's going to get it. So a lower reserve.
I could have done that with the Dream Big piece.
Yeah.
There's like 5 people wanted it.
Yeah, see. So that's how you would make more money, and everybody would make more money when you do that. All right, a few more pieces here. Food, cash, internal photography. While you're doing the events, there's a little bit of celebrity starting here, right? You got to be careful of that. Stay on the ground.
Yeah, break.
But the truth of the matter is, people want to take pictures with you, and people want your autograph. That's worth money. So bring in a photographer or bring in the equipment, and we just have one of you be the photographer. So there's a booth somewhere. That's the instant photo. It comes right out of the printer. So,
Like Polaroid pictures?
it's kind of, but actually a printer prints it. It comes right out of a printer in beautiful 4-color. So the camera is wireless. So you can take that picture anyway. So somebody says, hey, actually the photographer is walking around, and while he's talking to people, and somebody's talking to you, they say, hey, would you like a picture of Chris? I mean, he's a good-looking guy, right? Here, let's get a picture of you. That's only $20, right? Boom. And go over there, and you'll get the picture, and then you can come back with the picture and get his autograph. You do that with every single one of you. Okay? There's a lot of money in that one piece. So anyway, so that's the photographer guy. Outdoor video screen, I only threw that in there if we did daytime movies. There's a shot of doing that. You get one of those jumbo Tron deals, put the screen more behind the trees. Got to be careful because there are issues. It is a vehicle, but we might be able to get a smaller one. Let's set a screen up over there, and it's daytime movies, something special, some kind of a special movie. Could also be a premiere of a new movie coming out by a major studio. That would be very interesting. So anyway, food report, food receipt books, we got that. Outdoor video, stage roof, that will come later when we start doing that. But just be aware that it's there. And I did look at where the stage should go. And when we get to that point, I already walked it out. As I normally do, the very first thing I do when I do any events, the first thing I do is, where's the stage going to go? My initial thought is it's here, and it's aimed right to the corner of the house, right to the corner of those steps. It's going this way. So if we do music, it's right about there is where it is, and it's facing this way. That way, people can sit under the trees, blankets and beach chairs, and they can sit this way, blanket and beach chairs. It'd be a really nice, comfortable experience. So it's a stage with a backdrop, sound wings. Out front is where the mix console goes and all that. We would never do nighttime events here. If you ever think of this, I would never do anything involving liquor here, because we don't want to be responsible for anything happening after they leave here. So I have wine tasting, but the more and more I think about it, I wouldn't even do a wine tasting here. I mean, I was thinking of Mike, because I know you like symphony, orchestra, and things like that.
I do.
It makes all the sense in the world, but not with wine. So we just have to think of something else. But be aware that that's on the music list. I don't know if you saw that, but under music, the music is jazz, bluegrass, country, pop, rock, classic. Oh, gee, and I just went blank with this. Quartets, and even symphonies. So there's a possibility to do that. But
I have to run to another meeting.
Okay.
I'm out, but thank you so much.
Yep.
We'll be in touch. Yeah.
All right, man.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. And then I got to get going too. So last thing here, you can just see it, ice truck for ice. Chairs under the tree. Everybody should have walkie-talkies or radios when we're doing this event. Where is Bella? You know, where did Chris go? You know, all of that stuff. So
We
walkie-talkies.
just kind of yell here.
Right.
It's only 3 acres.
But when there's
Yeah, I
a couple
know.
of hundred people. Portable restrooms, got to think about that. 6 is the max that's really needed. One of those trucks comes in with a trailer, you know, it's really nice. One has proper for women, not the gross ones. A hand washing station so people can wash their hands. First aid station is over there by the restrooms. Table covers, chairs, trash bags, we talked about that. Staffing, and then we're done. You can just look at that staffing thing, and then when you guys are together, you can talk about that. When I do events, that is alone 500 people. But for here, you know, I think I counted it as like 18 people or 18 positions or something. No, I put it there, 20. 20 positions at this moment based on what we know, right? So basically, read it, look at it, talk about it, know that I will be watching. and you know, just enjoy it and feel totally free to go, that's yours, go with this in your direction, pick and choose everything I've suggested, or say, this is a great starter, but we want to do this, and then I'll come back out and I'll walk you through it. If I'm physically here, I can actually walk through the steps of, let's have a meeting with everybody, one at a time. How's everything? And you guys are starting to do that. You've really settled in this last day. Today was amazing. You just really, and so if you have those kind of settled meetings where, you know, what do you need? Have you got everything? Where are you going to do it? You know, what's going to happen before, what's going to happen during, and what's going to happen after. So you ask those questions, everybody, make that list, make that budget. So that's basically it. And you can call. You got the email. You can email, set up another time. And next time, I would like not to talk, because normally when I do these events, I will initially do a presentation or talk initially. I hate to call it a presentation. I'll initially talk, but then I'm one of those people who actually really knows and understands what listening means. Okay? And so I will listen when I come back. And while I'm listening, I'll be taking notes, and I will adjust these sheets to what you guys want to do. And then I will help guide you to having that become a successful event. Okay?
Good night, man. Good night.
I got to get out of here.
We could brainstorm
Real
all night
quick,
with
you
these
said
ideas.
we won't be doing any events at night. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yeah,
Liability with the pond and all that?
Well, there are issues of
Security
just
for us.
people coming in and out in nighttime. You don't want to have an accident happen on a mountain road. You're out in the middle of nowhere here. And that's the biggest.
Bobcat.
Yeah, it's mainly safety of the people.
Get a lab.
It's really all about safety. That's
Where
why
can I
not to
grab
do
a
a
lime
nighttime
slice?
event. And it costs a lot of
Okay, I
money.
didn't know if
Now you
there
got
was
to put all
somebody
those
had
lights
one
out.
The lights stay on
But
24/7.
not enough to be appropriate for a couple of hundred people walking around. I know you can see because I've seen it, but not enough light. And you have trails leaving here. Just as the people leave, you got to light all of that stuff. It's way too much headache and way too much cost. So it's a safety issue. So,
Hey,
Thank
T.
you so much.
oh,
Let me
you're
give her a
welcome.
hat.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
You're
welcome.
amazing.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited. I've been
Thank
wanting
you.
to learn how to do this all my life.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
Now I want
What
to
an
try to.
opportunity.
This is your special water, right?
Special water, yes, with tangerine. Special utopian water. That's
We
right,
didn't get a
Bella's
chance to
utopian
talk, Hex.
filtered water.
Cattle
I wanna-
feeder and now gnocchi.
I got to come over at least and give you a huggy poo before I go.
Yeah, please.
I gotta go. There are people waiting for me.
Thank you.
I'll go. I just want to give Hex a little huggy poo, and then
Okay.
let's all walk out.
Huggy poo, so cute.
You are
I
so
listened.
sweet.
He wants
Did you?
to give, I think he wants to give Nikki a hug.
Thank you for all of that. Really
Oh, you're welcome.
appreciate
Did you hear it? A lot of it?
I did, and I tried. We have a lot of ideas now. We can brainstorm.
That's actually what I'm studying.
Oh, you are.
On the outside, I want to become an APR.
Maybe next time we can talk a little bit about that.
I would love to.
And you are so funny.
I love you.
I love listening to
I love
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thanks, Ray. Sorry.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't know where
Bye,
we keep
Ray,
stuff yet.
darling.
Bye-bye.